Hey, I got a question. How you doing, huh? Hopefully you guys are doing good on this early Saturday morning. Hopefully you guys are kicking this weekend's ass already. And before we go over the Friday Night Smackdown review for Friday, December 6th, 2019, I first want to thank you guys for the response in yesterday's video regarding the Charlotte Flair, Corey Graves situation. It's really good to know that my amplified unit truly is the smartest professional wrestling fan in the community, and it's truly great to know that you guys comprehend what I am telling you, because it's very important in what I'm trying to do on this platform. And I'm trying to be, even if it's just a small piece of the puzzle, I'm truly trying to help the cause, the greater cause. I'm truly trying to help the business, the industry get better where it once was, and one day maybe even beyond. I know that might seem impossible, but you never know. You never know unless you try. I am trying. And I know that might rub people the wrong way at times. It may seem at times I am too negative or we're complaining too much. I understand. But if we don't raise up our voices and make them loud and known, nothing will ever get accomplished. And those that are resting on their laurels, those that are just going through the motions, they'll never know or never understand that there is a fire being lit under their ass and that change needs to happen. Without people like me, the same old shit just keeps going round and round. I'm trying to play my part in the grander scheme of it all. And yesterday's video was another piece of that puzzle. And it was great to see you guys respond the way you did and really comprehend it and really understand it. And it's great to know that we're all on the same page here. Nobody doubts the fact that Charlotte Flair is one of the best that I've ever personally seen in that ring. There's no question. But when you have the year in 2019 like she did, a WrestleMania main event, defeating Trish Stratus at SummerSlam, multiple time championships in 1 year, 10 in all, but multiple just in 2019 alone, and then on top of that, you nearly defeat Asuka and Kairi. Just one person almost defeated both of them just this past Monday. And you honestly have the balls, the cojones, the how you doings to say, wow, this booking for her should be better. You honestly, instead of sticking up for those like Sasha Banks, Naomi, and Ember Moon, and Kairi Sane, Asuka, instead of sticking up for the Nikki Crosses, you honestly put all of your eggs into the Charlotte Flair basket? Corey Graves, I question that deeply. Because you know firsthand, literally firsthand, you know how damn great Charlotte Flair has been booked. And you know that everybody else played second fiddle to Charlotte Flair. And now she's rubbing shoulders with Becky Lynch, and she's taking out tag team champions nearly. That's still not good enough for Corey Graves. And you say she's going through the motions, and she knows it too. And Charlotte Flair retweeted some of your statements on her social media and said he's not wrong. So Charlotte Flair absolutely agrees with you that she's going through the motions right now because she's not entirely happy. And that's with 1 month. 1 month of Vince McMahon having her take a back seat. And by the way, a back seat and letting other people shine for Charlotte means rubbing shoulders with Becky and nearly defeating tag team champions, talents like Asuka and Kairi. That's taking a back seat. For most female talent, and even you can throw in the males, for most of the talent underneath that WWE umbrella and banner, a back seat means you're not even on TV. You're twiddling your thumbs in catering, and that's even if they need you to show up to the arena. But for Charlotte, a back seat is automatic TV time and making sure you're still thrusted in the spotlight. But for 1 month, they're asking her to stay away from the title picture, and all of a sudden, the world is coming crumbling down. All is wrong in the world. Wow, Charlotte Flair is being booked like that. Could you imagine if Corey Graves spent a minute thinking about the booking of Sasha Banks, Asuka, and Kairi, and Nikki Cross, and Ember Moon in 2019? Their 2019s have been abysmal. Asuka and Kairi got a tag team champion strap around them because of what Rio and AEW did for Rio. And then all of a sudden, a few days later, they put the titles on their Japanese talent, Asuka and Kairi. You're not fooling anybody. If that didn't happen with AEW and Rio, Asuka and Kairi might not even be on TV right now. And even with the tag team championships, they're booked like clowns. Sasha Banks had to leave because her booking was so tragic. Could you imagine if she had somebody like you, Corey Graves, within that system sticking up for her and standing up for her? Ember Moon couldn't even get on TV for most of 2019. They thrusted her very last minute into a championship match with Bayley that was just to do the job at SummerSlam. A few days later, immediately do another job to Charlotte Flair, and then she was back off TV. Ember Moon busted her ass every single live event though. She never went through the motions like you said Charlotte Flair is doing just because for a few weeks she hasn't been in the main spotlight. Ember Moon was giving it her all every single live event even to the point where she blew out her wheel and now she's injured. But nobody stuck up for Ember Moon. Naomi has these personal issues that have kept her out of WWE. I bet you at the top of the list is the way WWE treats her. And booking and creative not believing in her. If somebody just stuck up and stood up for Naomi, things might have been different. But Charlotte Flair has another incredible year because this company continues to push her to the fucking moon, never to return. And when she has a few weeks where they're just trying to backpedal her a little bit so fans will get more acclimated to her, that's not good enough. She needs to be winning championships. She needed to defeat Asuka and Kairi Monday, not just hang with them. All right, Corey. Anyway, I'm going into a whole nother fucking rant video that I just put out yesterday. I don't want to do that. You guys know once I get going, man, you know, my feelings, my emotions, they fucking spit right out to the camera. Uncensored, unfiltered, that's what you're gonna fucking get. And that's my thoughts on this. This is absolutely mind-bogglingly stupid that anybody would actually think Charlotte Flair is being booked bad. And if you're gonna go that route, you better make hour-long videos on all the aforementioned females that I just name-dropped. Because I can tell you their 2019s were much more tragically booked than precious Queen Charlotte. I assure you. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to get that out of the way and say thank you, because that video went out really late last night. I'm talking right before SmackDown, and you guys are showing that nothing but the utmost love. Fucking rock stars, man, thank you. And I'm glad that that was able to get across to you guys and that everybody is comprehending it. That means the most to me, that you guys understand the issue here. It's that Corey Graves is in the system. He has this new podcast that's supposed to be controversial, right? And he's supposed to call out WWE on a lot of things, but all it's really doing is trying to get you to get away from channels like mine, the real channels that actually call out WWE. But it's really just Corey Graves kissing that corporate ass and saying what Vince wants him to say. Obviously, he wants his sheep to think, wow, Charlotte's being booked poorly. She needs another championship. And his sheep will follow along. You cannot allow that to happen. Don't let that type of bullshit, that type of sheep shit, actually take you away from the real truth. Because I assure you, what he's trying to push, the narrative and the agenda that he's trying to push, it's just WWE corporate bullshit narrative and agenda. And that's shit that we've seen time and time again. We don't need that shit. And luckily there are people like me that are going to call him out and make sure that he's calling it down the middle, staying truthful. I can go another half an hour. I will stop, I promise. Moving on real quick, guys. The shirts you guys want to know is going to be a discount for Christmas coming up. I would love to do that for you guys, but I'm not going to because it's not fair to the over 100 people that already ordered their BC Amplified merch. And now all of a sudden I'm going to be like, hey, 10% off or 15% off. No, absolutely not, man. You know, it's La Familia. Everybody is in the same boat together. You want to support the channel by getting the merch, that's awesome. And if you can't get it, I apologize if the price is too high, but that's premium quality. The price was set. Over 100 Amplified unit members have already got their merch, or it's on the way, hopefully, in the mail. And I cannot now discount that for other people when they didn't get it. I have to stay truthful to my La Familia over here. So It's going to be one set price for everybody. I promise you. It's the most comfortable merch you're going to fucking get. It's the most comfortable shirt you will ever purchase because I made sure that it was the most premiumest of qualities. Is that a word? Premiumest? Premiumist? It's fucking premium as fuck. You're going to love it, I assure you. So I assure you guys, it's worth the $25. If you don't have it, I understand. You could support the channel other ways. Watch an advertisement. That's like tipping the Amplified Man. Or just fucking show the love. That's all I need, man. And if you just really want the merch, it's not even about showing me the love. You really want it, and you just can't afford it. I totally apologize, but I can't discount something when other people didn't get it. The price is set where it's at, $25. I think the hoodie is around $45-ish, and that's where it's going to stay. Other people got the same price, and the quality is worth it, and I think it's got to be the same for everybody. Yes, I understand there's going to be some BC, you can make more money if you discount it, man. It's about the quantity of it and push it out, and you'll make up that money and then some. Guys, it ain't about that for me, man. I understand if I discount it, I'm going to get a lot more sales, which is going to increase my revenue. I don't give a fuck. I have morals that I live by. You know, you're mixing me up with other people. I have morals that I live by, and when I set a fucking price, that's it. Hopefully people can get it and afford it and love it, and if not, I do feel bad, but that's the price set because it's justified. It's not about getting fucking rich quick here. Hey, let me make a quick $1,400 when I put this thing on sale. No, I don't give a fuck about the sale. It's about my morals, man. This is the price that was set. It was set for Amplified Unit number 1 who bought it, and it'll be set for Amplified Unit member 176 when they buy it, and so on. Anyway, just had to get that out of the way, man, because I'm starting to get that already, and I know toward Christmas I'm going to get it even more. BC, what's the discount codes? The discount code is fuck never. Don't actually put that in. You're not gonna... People are going to Teespring for BC Amplified merch. They're putting in fuck never. All right, we've had some fun. Now let's get to the show at hand, even though that's probably the most entertaining part of the video, because now we actually have to talk about SmackDown. There was actually nuggets of good here, and I'll go over it, but for the most part, we're all thinking, what the fuck? When Elias says, who wants to walk with Elias, most times last night we were thinking, as long as it's into a cement wall, I'm walking with Elias. Head first, right into that wall. The Miz starts the show off. He informs all of us that he cares about Daniel Bryan, and he's going to find out what happened to Daniel Bryan. First of all, what the fuck happened to The Miz? Now all of a sudden he's Inspector Gadget? I mean, now all of a sudden he's the head badge member for the FBI. He's literally Sherlock Holmes. He's going to get to the bottom of this. This is must-see Miz we're talking about. And now all of a sudden he's just dangling on the fact that something happened to Daniel Bryan and he needs to find out. All of a sudden he's best friends with Daniel Bryan. All of a sudden he's a super sleuth. This doesn't make sense. Where did this come from, this love for Daniel Bryan? I'm sure his wife Brie Bella isn't even that concerned. She's like, oh, I get the house to myself for a few days. Awesome. Miz, stop looking for him. He's going to come back home. So anyway, we get Bray Wyatt appearing on the Tron, and he tells Miz, you don't really want to find out what happened to Daniel Bryan. Hell, I'm not sure I even want to find out what happened to Daniel Bryan. For all we know, he could still be with him. So Bray Wyatt is telling Miz that he could be with the Fiend right now, so you don't want to find him. Bray then tells the Miz that he doesn't think Daniel Bryan will be able to play with him at TLC. He says, and I quote, so maybe you can play with me, Miz. Miz declines, vowing again to find out where D-Bry is. Wyatt then holds up a pic of Miz, Maurice, and Monroe Sky, Miz's family. And Miz runs to the back now to find Bray Wyatt. We go to commercial. When we come back, Miz is on the phone with Maurice. He tells her to lock the doors, and he's heading home now. Just has to pack up some stuff. So now it took a little bit more of a severe turn, and Miz is taking this very seriously, and this fits the Bray Wyatt character, obviously. So even though at first I'm like, what the fuck is this? And they're rushing a Miz versus Bray Wyatt TLC match now with just 2 weeks remaining. At least they're going about it the right way. There's some suspense here. There's some intrigue. This got personal pretty fucking quickly with Miz and Bray Wyatt. So he's calling Maurice, or Maurice called him. I think it was Maurice called him because he's trying to calm Maurice down, telling her, just lock the doors, I'll be home. I know I have to take care of this somehow. And that wasn't the end of it. We go over these two a little bit more in the show in just a bit. Next up was Mandy Rose versus Alexa Bliss. We always talk about the skill level of both Mandy and Alexa maybe not being quite up to par with other females on the roster and not being that great. So this is actually an even matchup. And it was for the most part last night. I think these two can only bring out the best, whatever that is, within one another. Mandy did some freaky shit in there, pulling out Alexa's hair and even eyelashes last night, but in the end, Alexa hits Twisted Bliss and collects the W over Mandy Rose. So Vince McMahon was probably on cloud nine during this match. He had Mandy, he had Alexa. He's happier than a pig in shit. Alexa Bliss comes back to SmackDown in a match, and she wins. So it looks like they're going to try to catapult all of these blondes now to be fan favorites. Charlotte already looks to be like a face now. Alexa Bliss came back still as a face, and now they're going to really try to push it looks like, by her victory over Mandy. It looks like they're going to go Lacey Evans as a face now. So Vince is going to try to get all of his blondes that didn't work as heels. Now he's going to try to make them all work as faces. I have no fucking idea, man. I don't make this shit up. I just go over it, man. And all of our dome pieces are boggled together. Next up, we have a backstage Drake Maverick segment. He's still trying to get with Dana Brooke. Dana basically tells Drake that her goods now belong to Batista. Elias comes out of nowhere, and who knows what the fuck he was doing wherever that was. And Elias performs a diss track on Maverick, even alluding to being with Maverick's wife. This pisses off Maverick. Maverick smacks the taste out of Elias's mouth and walks off. Dana Brooke asks Elias if that really happened with Drake's wife. Elias says no. But something is about to happen now because Elias is pissed off that Maverick just smacked him across his mug. So we go to commercial. When we come back, Maverick is in the ring and he's infuriated still. He's calling out Elias, not for a match, but for a fight. Never to mention his wife again, he says. So Elias does oblige. He comes to the ring with Dana Brooke by his side. This reminded me of like a little brother and a big brother kind of confrontation, right? When a little brother and a big brother are in a fight, the little brother is doing everything he possibly can to show his bigger brother, his older brother, that he's not going to be a pushover. But in the end, the bigger brother continues to push over the little brother and actually begins to pummel him some more. It just reminded me like a little brother, bigger brother situation. The little brother, no matter what he did, and he tried, he fought and he fought, he just could not be taken seriously or would not be taken seriously by the bigger brother in this situation. Anyway, that's what it felt like to me. Dana Brooke then after again, this wasn't a match, guys, but Elias still hit a drift away on Drake Maverick. And afterwards, Dana Brooke slipped in and actually covered Drake. And Elias did a mock 1-2-3 pin. And that was your segment. They brought Elias back after all of that time away with his injury. And then they waited another couple of weeks because they didn't know exactly where they wanted to place him, how they wanted to use him. And their big idea was to stick him with Dana and have a feud with Drake Maverick. That's what they brought Elias back for and to. Cool. I like Drake, by the way. I really do. I mean, he does his best to make these things comical, and he does his best to make these segments go as good as they possibly can. So that's no shade through Drake Maverick. This is more shade to the whole creative process, or lack of creative process, behind Elias's return. Mind-boggling to me. Probably shouldn't be, though. I shouldn't be shocked by any of this. Backstage, Miz is about to leave the arena, but notices another pic of his family. This time, Bray Wyatt is in the place of where Miz would be, holding Monroe Sky, I believe, with Maurice next to him. So Bray Wyatt is now in the photo. And this is really freaky to Miz. And then all of a sudden, it's in a dark room as well. And then all of a sudden, Bray Wyatt appears behind him and delivers Sister Abigail to the Miz. The photo lands on top of Miz. And Bray Wyatt starts singing, "There's no place like home for the holidays." Meaning, Miz's home, Miz's family. I like it, man. When we come back from commercial, the Miz is still all draggy, and officials are trying to, stand him up and make sure he's okay. And the Miz is asking, where's Wyatt? Where's Wyatt? So now this is real personal for him, and he wants to find Wyatt. We'd come to find out that this was obviously rushed for TLC. If you're going to do it, you might as well make it extremely personal, get us intrigued. That's what they did here, man, with Miz and Wyatt. I think it's going to be interesting. You have one more week of build. You just really got to show that side of Bray. Show the urgency of the Miz. But I think if you only have 2 weeks to build and you're rushing something like this and it's Miz versus Wyatt, that's not going to intrigue anyone. It's the best way they could have done it, guys. I honestly mean that. So props to them. And that's what I tell you guys all the time. This company knows how to do things. They just refuse to. They're stubborn, and they'd rather just go against what we actually want to see. It's so weird how this company runs. It's so ass backwards. We then cut the footage of WWE's 17th annual tribute to the troops, scheduled to air in a couple of weeks. And then we go in to a schmaz, 8-man matchup, fatal 4-way schmaz to determine the number one contenders for the New Day's Tag Team Championships. New Day is on commentary. The teams are the whole fucking roster. Lucha Summer College House Party, Revival, Heavy Machinery, Shorty G, and Alley Oop. Where do I begin? Why get creative when finding out who the number one contenders are? Why get creative when all you have to do is throw everyone into one match? Literally throw everyone together every fucking time you need to determine who the number one contenders are going to be. Because that's what they do. They just literally throw in every single tag team they have on the roster every time. And whoever wins that one match, boom! Some Harry Potter shit. You are now the number one contender because you won that one match. Always, just like always, this is how we have to find out who's going to face the champs. This company has no interest whatsoever in dedicating time and creativity to actually building legit number one contenders. And if you do it properly and you build number one contenders, we'll actually want to see the match. They don't have the time for that. They don't have the energy. They don't want to waste time and energy on that. They just want to say, hey, we need somebody to take on the New Day. Let's throw our whole roster in there of tag teams. We'll have them fight it out, and the winners will take them on. And then when it was all said and done, by the way, I'll go through the eliminations real quick. Machinery eliminates the Party first. Then the Revival eliminates Machinery. Then the Revival defeats Alley Oop and Shorty G. So all of that was just to get us to another rematch with Revival in the New Day. Revival, New Day will soon now be the Usos versus the New Day, how we've seen them 165 times. This is right up there now. Or it's going to be. Post-match, the Revival, I will give them their credit here in their daps. Revival cut their best promo in WWE. That was the Revival's best they've ever looked on the mic. Their confidence, their fucking chutzpah, the way it looked like they meant every single word they were spewing. It looked really good. It sounded really good. You give me that type of the Revival going forward, I can't say I'll jump on their bandwagon, but I'll hitch a ride every now and again on that wagon. It was really good to see. And that's all I ever ask. Make me believe in your promos. You have to believe in the promo you are cutting before anybody else can believe in it. We all know Revival are good wrestlers in that ring. Old school, as they call it, and I call it. But if you're not captivating us in other areas, it's not going to work. Up next, Kayla Braxton begins hour number 2 with a backstage interview of Roman Reigns. Kayla literally says, ladies and gentlemen, they call him the big dog. And I'm thinking, who is they, Kayla? I have never been around anyone who has ever said, here comes the big dog. Have you ever? Are you around your buddies and they're like, hey, BC, the big dog's coming out. Oh, I gotta get my Pringles real quick. Big dog's coming. Who calls him that, Kayla? Who is they? So by they, Kayla really means Michael Cole, who has an absolute orgasm as soon as Roman Reigns' music even begins to play. Michael Cole is all up in his feelings. Roman Reigns' music hits, and there goes Michael Cole. Oh my! Things are happening in my body! It's the big dog! Come on, man. Anyway, I just had to mention that eye-rolling moment. No, Kayla. Ladies and gentlemen, they do not call him the big dog. One guy does, and he's a weird dude. Sheamus is up next in a backstage promo. He's putting the entire roster on notice still that he's coming back, like anybody gives a fuck. Does he honestly think the roster is going, oh shit, guys, did you hear what's happening? That jobber's coming back. What's his name? No, the other jobber. Sheamus. Yeah, he's coming back. And that's not thrown to Sheamus. I like Sheamus, I really do. But if he honestly thinks Vince McMahon, after 1 month of him being a new shiny toy again, if he thinks he's going to catapult him into main event status and thrust him into the spotlight for a longevity period of time, it's not going to happen. So Sheamus is just fooling himself. But I understand that this is where they want to go with him. I mean, he's not going to cut promos saying, guys, I'm coming back as a jobber. But if you're going to put these promos out, if you're gonna spew all this nonsensical bullshit, the least you can do is sit Vince McMahon down and say, listen, you have to really give me a chance here. Otherwise, I'm gonna look like more of a fool now than I ever did in the past. You have me cutting these promos. Let me now deliver, Vince. And this is what I mean about the talent standing up for themselves in front of Vince. Lacey Evans is up next. She's taking on Bethany Bonkers. A woman's right hand defeats Bonkers in about 60 seconds. Sasha Banks hits the ramp and tells Evans, you thought you were just going to walk away and leave? No, we have some unfinished business to take care of. We cut to commercial. When we come back, Sasha is going off on Evans, calling her a Mary Poppins wannabe, and even mentioning Lacey Evans' 6-year-old daughter. Now that's where the line was cut off and Lacey Evans really got pissed off. Don't you ever mention my daughter again. Evans goes to fake a right hook to Sasha. Sasha falls back flat on her ass. Evans walks off, but is attacked from behind by Bayley. So I thought this was good. Sasha then goes up the ramp and starts putting the boots to Lacey Evans. So that is good heel work. That's what I'm telling you guys about. You know, that's how you book Sasha and Bayley. If you're gonna make them heel, if you're gonna put them together as heels and not make them or let them, allow them to stand on their own 2 feet as a heel, but you're going to put them together, then you have to book them as such. Last week, when Sasha got knocked out and Bayley just watched, that's not putting them where they should be as heels. And that's an injustice to them. That's a disservice to where they should be as heels. But what we saw last night, that is the correct way to book them. So I loved what Sasha and Bayley did last night, and I can't say that often about Bayley and Sasha lately, and that's unfortunate because you guys know how I feel about Sasha, and recently I became a Bayley fan. But when they're booked so poorly, man, it's sad to watch, and there's only so much hooting and hollering I can do before everyone else just gives up on it. And then I'm like, fuck, you know, I'm the last man in the sea kind of deal. But what they did last night was really good. I would like to see more of that, but you can never depend on WWE for consistency. Next up, Roman Reigns versus Dolph Ziggler. This would end up being your main event. Listen, both these dudes brought it last night. They were really, 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 really into this thing. And they tried to make this the best they possibly could. And for those that don't give a fuck about what happened in the past or just forgot about what happened in the past, for you guys, this was good for you. But for those of us that do remember, for those of us that have a brain in our dome piece, for those of us that have raised our standards, this was the same old repetitive bullshit that we've gotten from day one from WWE. In the past recent years, anyway. And this is just another rematch with Dolph and Roman, with WWE's ultimate goal being just to get us to another rematch at TLC between Corbin and Roman. So Ziggler and Roman's a rematch just to get us to another rematch, Roman and Corbin at TLC. So you want us to get invested with this rematch just to get us invested for another rematch. I hope this makes sense. And it doesn't, and that's my point. My point is nothing they're doing is making sense, and what it does is that reflects the reasoning as to why nobody's really feeling it, why we're not invested into this. Come on, seriously, guys, it's Roman versus Ziggler. You know, if you didn't feel anything in this last night, there's a reason, because you know what this was going to lead to, just Corbin and Roman, and that's what it did. There was nothing here for a fan like yours truly to get invested to. Sure enough, Roman Reigns defeats Ziggler with a spear. I didn't see that coming. Oh wait, yes I did. I could have saved the 25 minutes. Post-match, King Corbin and Ziggler attack Reigns. They handcuff him to the post and they start rubbing dog food on him. I'll say this one more time. They rubbed dog food on him and SmackDown went off the air. They rubbed dog food on it. What? How do you... I have no idea. Again, somebody is around the boardroom table and they thought, let's bring a dog mascot. Mascot? I can speak. It's late. I need another coffee. Let's bring a big dog mascot to the ring. That was just a week or two ago. This week they said, let's take dog food and put it on Roman. And somebody is approving this with the name of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And then you know, if you don't like the fact that I'm too negative sometimes or that I complain too much, right? I'm not positive enough. If you do say things like that, you watch something like that and are you honestly like, see, BC? This shit's good. I told you, BC. You just gotta shut up sometimes, man. Or are you literally like, BC has a point. Like, this could be better. This should be better. I hardly ever say this, but if there was people like yours truly running that company, could you imagine the TV we'd be getting? Because I would go to the depths and beyond to make sure that we are getting something of quality, especially when we end the night, when the show's about to go off the air. I will constantly give you what is called a cliffhanger because I want you to be on the edge of your seat, not wanting to tune in next week, but you have to tune in next week. You don't give us that fucking shit, bro. Dog food being spread on Roman by Corbin is supposed to make us get intrigued to see Roman and Corbin at TLC. Did you see dog food go on Roman's head and go, gotta watch TLC now. Gotta tune in. This is gonna be a pay-per-view for the ages. You didn't. It's rhetorical. Don't lie to yourself. Definitely don't lie to me. You didn't feel that way, did you? You watched it and you were like, huh? What? How the f... And when you end a show like that, that's usually not very good. You add that with the weird Elias thing that they have him in. You add that with the 8-man schmaz to find the #1 contenders for the New Day's Championship. And then you wonder why this show makes us all want to go headfirst into a cement wall. The Bray Wyatt and the Miz thing at least went good. I expect Daniel Bryan to show up at TLC during or post-match after Bray Wyatt defeats Miz. That's where we should get Daniel Bryan, and then we can extend that to Royal Rumble. So I am on board with all of this. And for those, again, that said Bray Wyatt was buried and he's ruined to you and he just doesn't do it for you anymore, for you guys, yeah, what a 360, right? Because this Bray Wyatt character is now showing you that both characters, The Fiend and then Funhouse Bray, they're both epic. And the storytelling is finally back on track. When Bray is on top of his game and on his A game, and then the booking is actually going right, sky's the limit for Bray Wyatt. He was the best and the only bright spot of SmackDown yet again last night. And I went over all the other bullshit. There's no need to spend another second on it. I will let you guys continue to kick this weekend's ass. I will see you for an impromptu video maybe within the next 48 hours. If not, I will definitely see you Tuesday morning for the Raw review and reaction. The Amplified Man. Kick that weekend's ass, man. You know what we got to do. Coffee and ass whoopings. Wow. For now, check you later.